I'm going to teach you how to write Roman numerals. So, what we start with is our 7 numerals, and we have I for 1, V for 5, X for 10, L for 50, C for 100, D for 500, and M for 1000. So, we are going to combine these numerals through addition or subtraction in order to get the rest of our numbers into the millions and beyond. So there is a rule for how it is written. There are several. So one of the rules is that you can only have 3 numerals in a row of the same numeral when you want to write a number with numerals. So for example, 3 can be I, but it cannot have a 4th I or a 5th I, or more than 3 I's. Same for 5. You cannot have more than, or sorry, same for V. You cannot have more than 3 V's in a row. You cannot have the 4th V or 5th V or any of that. So no more than 3 numerals of the same numeral in a row. That is how it is written. Another way that it is written is order of operations. If 3, so you use three options, and you're only gonna come up with one. So if you have 3, if you can write a number with 3 of the same numerals, which is all you're allowed, then you can use that option. For example, 3 is written with 3 I's, which is very convenient for it. And so if we have the 3 option, then we don't use addition or subtraction. And the rule for addition and subtraction is that it is just like an order of operations. It is read from left to right, whether to add or subtract. And if generally the rule of whether to use addition or subtraction, if you cannot do the 3 numeral rule, is that you can either try subtracting or you can try adding. And generally what you'll find is that if you can't add, then you can subtract, and if you can't subtract, then you can add. You will always have a way to write your numeral out. So, starting with subtraction. Subtracting only from the number directly after a smaller number. So, what you're gonna do for subtraction is that subtraction only occurs if there's a smaller number in front of a larger number. And I'm talking about the smaller number being directly in front of the number behind it. And no other in the subtraction set, no other numerals are affected. They are on their own. They are new, and they are going to be considered for subtraction or addition separately, based on what they have in front of their numeral. How you are going to add is if there is no smaller number in numeral in front of the in front of the numeral, then you just, if they are equal, or they are large, if it's a larger number, then you just add those two together. So in a number that has a combination of addition and subtraction that you have to do to figure out which Roman numeral you're looking at, you have to then you have to consider both the addition and subtraction from a left to right format. If you see a larger number in front of a smaller numeral, you are going to add those two. If you see a numeral that is equal to the numeral behind it, you are going to add those two. If you see a smaller numeral in front of the numeral behind it, you are going to subtract those. And you might have to do both addition and subtraction in the same written out Roman numerals for a number. So, for example, IVV. In IVV, you have IV from left to right, and IV is a smaller numeral in front of a larger numeral, which means that you subtract that set, that I and V. Only two numerals can go into a set at a time, an addition or subtraction set, based on their addition and subtraction rules. And then we have in the IVV, we have the V at the end, which doesn't have anything to add with it, but we are just going to leave it by itself. So we are just going to convert it. The V is equal to 5. So we have IVV, which is essentially, in our subtraction set, we have IV, which is 4, because we have I subtracting from the V, which is 5 minus 1, which equals 4. So IV, that subtraction set, is essentially 4. And then we have an additional V, and that V means 5. So we are just going to bring that down, and when we combine those two, we get 45. And that is how we read our Roman numerals.